Hello, I'm Lloyd Bonson, and you join me today at Brands Hatch for the opening rounds of the 2017 BRSCC Fiesta Junior Championship. This is a race series where young drivers cut their teeth in the world of motorsport. Drivers such as Bearman, Greenwood, these are names to listen out for and look out for the future. I'm going to hand you over now to Richard John Neal to take you through the grid.
Thanks, Lloyd. Jack Davidson on pole, James Hillary alongside, then James Waite and Lachlan Bearman from Nicholas Reeve and Gus Burton. Josh Hislop and Josh Steed are on row 4. Row 5, Matthew Greenwood and Warwick Dayden, Bradley Kent, Scott Cansdale, the other three newcomers, Thomas Horton, Jamie Lee Hawley and Oliver Turner completing the grid. So welcome to all of our rookies. We've got returning drivers who made their debuts at the end of last year. And round 1 of the 2017 BRSCC Fiesta Junior Championship is underway. The 6th year of this exciting championship, and leading it is the young Scot Jack Davidson, who is a super start for my money. Lachlan Bearman looked slightly the quicker driver off the line, but he didn't have enough of an advantage off the line to change position. Matthew Greenwood's done very well indeed from 9th on the grid, and he's up challenging the top 5 or 6 drivers. So keep your eyes on the black and green machine, but already it's the Falkirk-based youngster Jack Davidson who is away and in lead position. Jack Davidson will be looking to emulate fellow Scot Aidan Moffat, who was one of the early drivers in this championship and now of course is a British Touring Car Championship driver, and there is your direct link from this introductory level motorsport right the way up into the top tier of international racing. Superb link, and there are other links which we'll talk about through the course of the season, but it is a very, very strong link, and this is the ideal place to start your racing as a junior. You can test before you get to age 14, but the racing itself for 14 to 17 year olds, many of the drivers move on to senior formulae at the age of 16, which you can do, which effectively leaves the race organisers with a 2.5 year catchment for these drivers, and that's why traditionally the racing the grids tend to be a little bit smaller than senior championships, just because the age range available to come in is smaller. But we're seeing more and more drivers from karting realising what great value for money and what great racing, what a great environment this is, because ultimately most of these drivers want to go on and race in car racing and aspire to be touring car drivers or single-seater drivers moving up the ladder, or indeed sports car drivers. So this is the ideal place to go. Great little battle going on there, with Greenwood hunting down Nicholas Reeve in the orange car. Nick Reeve, one of the drivers who won last year, you might remember him winning at Silverstone last year, was a regular visitor to the podium. But it's the young Scot Jack Davidson that is out front at the moment. Davidson, another visitor to the podium last year. James Hillary looking to improve on his best results from last year, and you'll see the drivers improve year on year. Lachlan Bearman is in the mix as well, as we pick up on Matthew Greenwood again, the Yorkshireman, who is currently running in 6th place, with Gus Burton, his Jam Sport teammate, in white behind him. And Gus Burton, one of the youngest drivers in the championship. The thing you'll see with this championship is that drivers will join mid-year when they come of age to race, when they reach 14. And you also probably see drivers coming in towards the end of the year. We did last year, and indeed the year before. 2015 we saw Warwick Dayden coming into the championship at the 2015 Formula Ford Festival. He raced with us again last year, and hopefully we'll see him do the full campaign Warwick Dayden. But we're focused on the Jam Sport teammates camera-wise at the moment. Here they come with the Specialised car of Nick Reeve out front. There were similar battles between Specialised and Jam Sport in the senior Fiestas this weekend. Simon Horrobin, the Jam Sport boss, going the Specialised Motorsport boss, going head-to-head with Jamie Going, the Jam Sport team boss, and we've got their cars up against each other here as well. But this is settling into a nice race rhythm here. 2 20-minute races is the race format. We've got 16 rounds for you, spread over 8 weekends of action, starting here at Brands Hatch. Won't be ending at Brands Hatch. It ends this year at Donington Park rather than the Formula Ford festival this year, which is a change. But the senior championship has changed format and now has some treble headers as well as the doubles. But all the junior races, to the best of my knowledge, double headers this year. Gus Burton has a look. He is trying to reclaim the place from Matthew Greenwood. Matthew, one of our newcomers. As I said, we've got Thomas Horton, Jamie Lee Hawley, lady racer, Oliver Turner as a newcomer, Matthew Greenwood, Gus Burton. We've got the guys, and Gus Burton goes up the inside line here, and it converts to the outside for Graham Hill Bend as they come down the hill. That means that Greenwood's got the line, so the two teammates obviously respect each other greatly, but both of them want to be ahead. And remember, it was Burton that qualified slightly the better. As they're squabbling, Nicholas Reeve is starting to get away, but Burton has the inside line at Surtees. That's the outside when they go through McLaren. There's Warwick Dayton I spoke about. Warwick from Hextable, being engineered and coached by saloon car legend Colin Stankham. Wonderful to see Colin back in the paddock, and he's tutoring him. And following that car is 23 Josh Hislop, the youngster from Aberdeen, but the Jam Sport teammates still side by side with Greenwood on the inside into Paddock Hill Bend, and Gus Burton has got to work another way to go through. He's just about to try and prise his nose up the inside line on Greenwood and maybe take the position, which he does going into Druid. Very good, clean move, and some senior championships could watch and learn from this. And also, they could watch and learn from how the youngsters deal with track limits. And this next corner, the exit here, that is a frequent place where drivers get punished for track limits in senior formally, but no issues at all in qualifying today. And no issues in the race so far from the race officials. So very well done to all of our drivers. It is of course a championship that's all inclusive, and great to have Jamie Lee Hawley joining the championship as well. And let's hope that we get more lady racers coming into the championship as the years go by. As I mentioned, this is the 6th year of the championship, which started in 2012 when Charlie Liddell won the championship from Jack Mitchell, both of whom this year racing in the Ginetta GT4 Super Cup, and JJ Ross, who was third. He was champion the following year. JJ still racing in saloons and racing in the Cannons Tin Top Championships, predominantly based here at Brands Hatch at the moment. And a huge off, and who is that stranded? That could be a race stoppage or possibly a safety car, or Purple Code 60, which is our new initiative this year, where rather than have a safety car, the Purple 60 flag is shown to slow things down. I think that's Thomas Horton who's gone off. But here we come across the line. Jack Davidson looking to convert pole position into a maiden win for him in the championship. As we said, a regular winner last year. It's James Waite still in second place. Third position is James Hillary, and Lachlan Behrman goes off, and that was a mighty close recovery. The Blue Book says you have to rejoin safely, but obviously there's no way with the momentum you've got going through the gravel that you consider how you rejoin the track at that point in a manner like that. So I don't think the officials can wave any fingers there. Well, as you can see, the purple flags are being shown. It's a new flag to racing this year. Another great innovation from the British Racing and Sports Car Club who organised these events. They brought in the concept of having timed races, so allotted time, you pay your entry fees and you get the allotted amount of time on track. So we go green once again, and it's James Hillary who is the race leader now. And James Hillary could be making a little bit of history here, because Hillary was with us last year, but his best finish last year was 5th. He had a couple of those, one at Silverstone, one at Brands Hatch in the last round of the year, and he is stepping up to the plate here and looking to take his first win in the championship. He crosses the line and goes on to the last lap, so it looks like Hillary could be on his way. Jack Davidson is second. He's still got the fastest lap of the race. James Waite is third. Nicholas Reeve is in 4th place. Matthew Greenwood in 5th ahead of Warwick Dayton. But James Hillary, what a drive we've had. It's an immaculate outfit. The car, as you can see, looks $1 million. The presentation in the paddock looks absolutely fantastic as well, and indeed all of these cars do. Along Cooper Straight for the last time. Let's see whether Jack Davidson can close him down. This shapes us up for what could be a great set of races that we have this year, possibly between these two drivers. Shades of Charlie Liddell and Jack Mitchell going back in the day, maybe going to be repeated this year. Just saw Gus Burton's car parked up on the outside. He's out of the race after a good race with Matthew Greenwood, but this one is going the way of James Hillary, who takes the checkered flag. Hillary wins, Jack Davidson second, James Waite is third, just ahead of Nick Reeve. Then it was Matt Greenwood from Warwick Dayton, Josh Hislop from Josh Steed, the two Joshes together, Lachlan Behrman next from Scott Cansdale, and Bradley Kent in 11th position. Fastest lap, Jack Davidson.
James, fantastic first win for you in the Fiesta Junior Championship. How are you feeling?
Yeah, it's great. We've tried so much hard for this occasion, and it's finally come true. And I'd like to thank everyone that's helped me out through the Hillwood team. I mean, we're on our own. We're not in a big team, so it just means a lot for us to get the opponent what we did.
And what a great start to the season, and something for you to build upon for the championship.
Yeah, definitely. I just hope I can do this throughout the rest of the year.
And it's going to be tougher later on, starting from pole.
Yeah, it's going to be hard. I'm just going to try and do it the same again. And just got to get the win again, yeah.
Fantastic. And Jack, not quite where you wanted to be, but it's a podium and it's a good start to the season.
Yeah, it's obviously not what I wanted to win, but you know, let's take it. It's just need to try and get first next time. So.
Yeah, and it's a long season. It's still a good start to the championship campaign.
Yeah, definitely.
Fantastic, brilliant. And James, podium, you must be really pleased.
Yeah, I'm really pleased with another podium. It's been a great weekend throughout. We had not bad qualifying from third, yeah, but hopefully next race we can go a step higher and see how we do.
Fantastic. Congratulations to all of you, and we'll look forward to seeing you after the next race. James, pole position for the final Fiesta Junior race of today. How do you feel?
Yeah, it's been it was nervous obviously, and had a great race first race, and I just really got to do the same again. I've just got to keep my nerves down, be sensible, try not to do anything stupid for the second race today now.
Going into the first corner, are you going to be concentrating on what you're doing, or are you going to have your eyes in the mirror to make sure that people aren't going to sneak one up the inside?
Well, I'm going to try not to let them put me under pressure at all. Someone's going to be keeping on my driving, and but I'm going to still be looking in my mirrors to make sure I'm keeping it in the right position and trying not to do anything too serious.
Okay, well, hopefully you'll have a good race, and we'll speak to you later on. Thanks, James.
Cheers, thank you.
James Hillary on pole. Jack Davidson lines up alongside then James Waite and Nicholas Reeve, Matt Greenwood and Warwick Dayton. The two Joshes together, Hislop and Steed on row 4. Row 5, Lachlan Behrman and Scott Cansdale, followed by Bradley Kent and Gus Burton. Thomas Horton, Oliver Turner and Jamie Lee Hawley expected to complete the grid of our second 20-minute race, which is about to get underway. Look at the angle of the car of Jack Davidson, who was aiming it slightly downhill, a favoured position often the outside of the front row, and a great start by Davidson, who leads. So it's Davidson from Hillary in race number 2 here. Then it's James Waite in third place. Nicholas Reeve looks up the outside line as they head up towards Druids for the first time. He's in orange. And then in 5th place it's Matt Greenwood, Warwick Dayton in 6th position. A couple of non-starters. Sadly, we've lost Jamie Lee Hawley and Thomas Horton. Didn't make it to the grid in this one after their non-finishes. In race number 1, what a save there by Jack Davidson in the Wright Designs Limited H&J Burgoyne back car. He has a quick look at his mirrors and he will see that James Hillary, after having taken his first win in that privateer car, as you heard on the interviews between the races here today, that it's a small team. There is the 94 car of Josh Steed trying to get stuck into Lachlan Behrman, and immediately behind them the white 57 Jam Sport car of Gus Burton. Gus, one of the non-finishers in race number 1, so expect him to make some moves. There is a move there from James Hillary, who was looking at challenging for the lead, but ultimately leaves the door open for Nicholas Reeve to come through and go up into third place, and forcing his way through as well is James Waite. Matthew Greenwood's getting in the mix as well, and Hillary got punished a little bit for that. Well, they say a faint heart never kissed a pig. He had to go for the lead, but ultimately that move left him down in 4th place. But from what we know of that man is we know that he will fight back. We saw the fighting spirit last year. He knows he can win a race now. So he will fight back for 4th position, make no mistake about that. But at the moment, it's Jack Davidson out front, and very wide move there from James Waite. That's going to lose him momentum, and Hillary senses that there's a place on the podium in the offing again and dives down the inside line. So it's Nick Reeve up to 2nd, and Hillary does get on the offensive and grabs 3rd position back. But James Waite is holding on the outside line. But the Barking man is beaten to it by the man from Shipton, and then they've got the Yorkshireman, Matt Greenwood, behind them as well, trying to close in. Matthew Greenwood, on his debut, put in the best performance of the brand newcomers into the championship. So down from Druids they go towards Graham Hill Bend, the left-hander, and again everybody exemplary on driving standards in terms of somebody running a little bit wide there for the exceeding track limits I'm talking about, but we've had no penalties so far. But this is a long weekend, and we won't be too surprised if we get somebody maybe dropping their wheels over the edge of that line a little bit at some point or another. But the race settling down a little bit now with Jack Davidson out front, Nicholas Reeve in 2nd, James Hillary is there in 3rd, and Lachlan Behrman puts a move on. Great move there on the inside by Behrman on Warwick Dayden. So Behrman making progress up from 9th on the grid. So this is good stuff from Lachlan in the 36 car, and Josh Steed wanting to join the party there and maybe have a little nibble away at Warwick Dayden as the race progresses. Warwick, who I think this is his 3rd meeting with the championship, both of the previous 2 at Brands Hatch, if memory is correct, going back at the 2 previous Formula Ford festivals, the last rounds of each year. So he has a little bit of knowledge or prior experience of the Brands Hatch circuit, but we hope he can join the rest of the championship, which continues if you want to come and join us, with some great racing from the British Racing and Sports Car Club, or BRSCC as we shorten it to, Cadwell Park, the weekend of the 7th of May, Silverstone following that on the last weekend in May, 18th of June at Rockingham, Snetterton after that, back at Silverstone on the 20th of August. The penultimate event of the year is at Croft, and the championship finale in October, the 2nd weekend of October at Donington Park. Warwick Dayden still coming under pressure. Oh, and gets tagged by Josh Steed going into Druids. Well, as 14 to 17 year olds, this is very much a learning formula, and that sort of thing is going to happen from time to time. Has it damaged Josh Steed's car enough that he will need to pit? Similarly, Warwick Dayden, you can see the damage picked up on it. Incredibly, they're both running. Gus Burton is trying to close in on them. Meanwhile, we pick up on Lachlan Behrman just ahead at the moment of Matthew Greenwood, and look how close Greenwood is getting. Very much precision driving in towards the rear end of Behrman at the moment. They've got a little bit of a gap between themselves and up ahead, James Waite, who is still in 4th position. It is still Jack Davidson from Nicholas Reeve, and Nicholas Reeve has the fastest lap of the race, set back on lap 7 at the moment, a 57.476. Not as quick as Jack Davidson's lap in race number 1, but the shadows are longer, the circuit is a little bit cooler, and we're focusing on this scrap for 5th place. It is a long season, and there are drop scores to take into account later on. Here is the battle for the lead. Davidson, if you can call it a battle, it's Davidson with a goodish lead at the moment, a couple of lengths over the Specialised Motorsport car of Nicholas Reeve, and Reeve with that fastest lap trying to hunt down. So the Romford man chases Falkirk man, heading down to the line, and across the line they go, and Davidson looking to secure his first win in the championship as well. Davidson had multiple podiums last year, took 2nd at Snetterton and had a brace of podia in the final event of the year here at Brands Hatch, so he's got circuit experience. And the nice thing about coming to Brands Hatch immediately after the last rounds of the previous year, which is Brands Hatch, is its continuity, if nothing else, on this circuit. Quick look in the mirror, I think, there for Davidson, who continues to lead, and for my money Nicholas Reeve is closing in slightly, but I don't think it's going to be enough as they get towards the checkered flag in this one. Out of clearways, onto Clark Curve for the last time, Reeve is undoubtedly closer. That gap is coming down all the time, but here we come with the run across the line now and onto the last lap. It is still Jack Davidson out front. So Reeve, he keeps knocking away these times and just chipping away. But Jack Davidson up front does not look as if he is going to surrender the lead. He certainly won't do it easily. Catching is always one thing, as we say in the cliche, and passing is quite another. But look, the gap has gone. Reeve is putting pressure on Davidson on this last lap. Takes a very good tight line indeed at Graham Hill Bend, and he's hounding the race leader, and there's a little bit of contact between the two. And is this going to carry on next year? James Hillary is on for another podium, so his best weekend of racing ever for James Hillary. But look at these two out front, and Jack Davidson is soaking up the pressure, and Nicholas Reeve has tried everything that he can to get past, and it's the run now down towards the checkered flag, and Davidson will win his first race. Nicholas Reeve will take second. There's the checkered flag. Third place will go to James Hillary. Fourth, James Waite from Lachlan Behrman, Matt Greenwood, Gus Burton and Josh Steed from Warwick Dayton, Oliver Turner, Josh Hislop and Bradley Kent in 12th. A non-finish, sadly, for Scott Cansdale. Fastest lap confirmed to Nicholas Reeve.
Jack, fantastic to see you on the top step of the podium for the second race. You must feel really pleased.
Yeah, it was good. It was quite challenging actually. Nicholas put a lot of pressure on me towards the end, but I just managed to keep in front.
You must be feeling good now, because that gives you the lead in the championship after your podium earlier on as well.
Yeah. Don't know what to say.
Well, it's a great start to the season, surely.
Yeah, definitely. I'd just like to say thanks to Jam Sport and all my mum and dad and all my sponsors for helping me.
Fantastic. Well, good to see you up there. And Nick, good to see you on the podium again, and great start to the season.
Great start to work it. Just missed out on the podium on the first one with the fourth, but I'm happy, and now got a second, pushed through. Gave as much pressure as I could to Jack, but he couldn't crack in the end, and proved to be a challenge, but second would do. I'd just like to say thanks to Specialized Motorsport and everyone at the team for giving me such an amazing car all weekend.
Yeah, it was a tough race out there. It's a challenging track here, but Cadwell next, that's even more challenging.
Cadwell, it sounds interesting. I've not been there yet, but this is one interesting track, and if it's anything like this one, it's going to be down to a fight to the last lap, and sounds like fun.
Brilliant. Well, we're looking forward to that. And James, didn't quite make it 2 wins, but it's 2 podiums today. Yeah. That's a good feeling, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's a great feeling. It's a shame it wasn't a repeat of the first race, but it's still a podium, so we're happy to go home with that.
It looked like you had a bit of a problem at the start.
Yeah, the start was terrible for me. It's obviously uphill as well on the start, so Jack had a really good start. I managed to come across, but yeah, and then about 5 laps in, James Waite was putting a lot of pressure on me, but I managed to pull away from him and attempted to catch the leaders, but it just wouldn't work out, but still happy to take third.
Looking forward to Cadwell?
Yeah, really looking forward to it. I've heard it's a quite a tough, challenging track with not a lot of runoff, so it's going to be interesting for the Fiesta Junior Championship.
Fantastic. Well, we look forward to seeing you there, and we look forward to seeing you there as well. Thank you for joining us here at Brands Hatch. We hope you've enjoyed it. See you soon.